How did I acquire this bike? Well, that's where my neighbor Rob comes into play. He had this bike sitting up at his house and said, you can have it, fix it, ride it, and when you're done with it, just give it back. So should we just give it back to him? So we got this 2001 CR80 to be my son's next bike. However, it's going to require a little attention. It's eating the transmission fluid through the crank seal. Power side, the not stator side. Tires are bad, fork seals are blown, seats ripped. Well, that's going to need some attention. The pipe is in great shape. I'm so excited. I love these little 80s. I love any two-stroke. So we're going to get this outside, clean it up, and see what we got. I bet that thing just rips. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Who's a good boy? You want to come up? Yeah, you want to come up and say hi? You want to stand up? Hello, everybody. I'm Bolt. Yeah, it's just going to be a project, but it's all there. It's a wild tiger. Oh my gosh. It's a vicious tiger. Look at normal kitty. Can't do it. It is too nice out. We'll just have to see what happens. For this part here, I'd lost a lot of my audio. Just gonna try a little voiceover. There's a lot of B-roll footage in this video. I'm learning. I've failed so many times making this and learned so much from those failures. And as we continue to do these videos, we're going to get better and learn more and become more efficient and really just develop a process that works for me, bringing you value into the videos that we do. We're going to have a multitude of varying videos. That is such a light little motor. We're going to remove the clutch side cover here and take a look at the crank seal, look at our clutch plates. I also did not video, well, I did video, but I lost the footage of removing the stator using the right puller. We're just going to continue removing the 8mm bolts from this clutch side cover. Take a look at the crank seal. See what that might look like. Don't you just love a little two-stroke? Little power machines. All right, this is stuck. Let's see here. Little bite right there. There you go. Did you hear that? But we will just use a flathead to just gently work it off of there. We wouldn't want to put an indentation into where the case is. That was a dowel. Put that right there. And gasket on it. Very clean. Wah, wah. Oh. Look at this. Do you see what I see? Crank seal not installed. You would sure think something's supposed to keep that up against there. Before I even completed the interweb search, very common issue for this crank seal to pop out. Check for wear on the crank. We'll see what we got here. Boom. Some stuff there not to lose. Take a look at. Ooh, they're a little worked over and discolored. Show me an 80 clutch that hasn't been worked over. The stator side. Yeesh. Even though we were using the correct case half splitter, the cases were corroded where the bushing for the swing arm goes through and was difficult to separate. There you go. Man, that thing was on there. So here's our case half. See what we got cooking here. There we go. Goes here. that little guy goes there. The little transmission is out of there. Got a little... And this crank looks really nice. It feels good. Markings on it appear to be stock. Connecting rod feels good. Well, that's that groove. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. You'll see some nice cross hatching on it. Pretty good, not bad. And it is a Nikasil bore. There's no sleeve. You can see right here. It's just aluminum right to a plating. These are plated with a Nikasil plating. Once that plating is gone, you're done. You're done. You must get new plating. We'll check the reeds. It looks shot from here. See that reed cage? Right there. That needs to be like the top one. Too much, but these reeds are really important to the power production process. Look at this piston. Think of that. Should I replace it? We're going to go over the pricing of the chassis right here. Draw a nice little sunshine. An air filter for 30 bucks. I just threw $5 down for transmission oil. I'm sure I have some good oil here in the shop I'll use from the stock. A new spark plug NGK. Fuel lines. We're going to put new radiator hoses on this. I just wrote down RAD hoses for abbreviation. Getting a little ahead of myself here. Fuel lines, which would include your carb drain lines, and then the line going from the tank to the carburetor. Stock line here from the shop. Clutch lever, 20 bucks. Clutch cable, 20 bucks. Some grips for 30. Bark busters we'd like to install since we do a lot of woods single track riding. Rear brake pads, front brake pads, 40 bucks. Oh, I threw 120 down for the bark buster set. Fork seals, bushing kit, oil for the forks. Again, for fork oil, I just threw down 20 bucks. I mean, I've got plenty of different varying fork weight oils in the cabinet, so we'll just take from stock. Steering stem and wheel bearings, I need to check. I did not check any of those per se for play, so we'll need to do that. I need to adjust my sheet here on the screen. I didn't write down any numbers for the steering stem or wheel bearings. The rear shock has nothing in it. At the least, it's going to need a nitrogen recharge, but the rubber bumper in there is all blasted out and cracked, so we'd like to replace that as well. They do make a rear shock rebuild kit for $150, and we've done a few of those. I think the oil is different, and I don't have any of that, so I threw down $150 for a rear shock rebuild. Then we need front and rear tires. The rear tire, the knob is chunking out of it and it's dry cracked. I didn't even look at the date codes. So front and rear tires, tubes, and new rim strips. I did not put a number down for that, but it should be around $200, and I believe that to be included in the 800 plus or minus 150-ish on the chassis parts. And we're gonna go ahead here and turn the page. Bob's here. Look at the motor, see what we come up with for pricing on that and what all needs to be done as far as the power production unit. I want to just take a quick minute here to thank you if you've made it this far in the video. I truly appreciate it. You're my sponsor by watching it, liking, sharing, and hitting that bell for our next video. It really helps us grow this. We absolutely love motorcycles, and I would love nothing more than to share our adventures and journeys with you. And in order to do that, we got to fix some bikes first. All right, we're going to go with the crank bearings and seals, looking them up online, OEM with some shipping, give or take around $100. Seals for the engine, your shifter seal, output shaft seal, so on, $30. The case half gasket is 14. Stator seal, it had gotten some oil on it and it was swelled. It needs a new stator seal, side gasket, and crank seal on that side as well. Do we need a new crank? If we polish this one and we get that groove smooth, we've taken some metal away in my eyes, so now that seal's not going to seal like it used to. If we put everything back together just like it should be, the chances are that the seal will line up with that groove. If I could assemble it with certainty, knowing that it was just, a little off of that groove and it would never leak, I still wouldn't do it. So I really think we need to replace the crank on this to make it right. But is it just going to do it again? Probably. But if we get 20 some years out of it, that's awesome. I know my son's going to outgrow it way sooner than in 20 years, but the bike will always be around here. He's not going to just sell it on me as soon as I get everything fixed. Or will he? And does this turn into the case of the curious, mysterious, borrowed neighbor's bike nightmare?
There's the Bolty. Who's a good boy? There's a good puppy. Oh.
What do you hear?
Yeah, he's a good boy.
That brings us to a total of $1,210 in engine parts, chassis parts, and no labor. I'm going to need a liquid-cooled credit card to pay for this. However, as soon as we get everything rounded up, we'll have a detailed video assembling the 2001 CR80. Do I regret this, or am I gleaming with gratitude? We'll find out when we're ripping around the trails. Thank you so much. Until next time.